This is a company that needs no introduction. In 2006, SoulCycle hit the boutique fitness scene and has hosted 2 million riders since then, many of them repeat customers. They changed lanes in the pandemic business-wise. Here to talk more about that is their CEO, Evelyn Webster. Evelyn, welcome to the New York Stock Exchange.
Thank you so much for having me.
I feel like this must be a first, SoulCycle bikes on the floor of the stock exchange.
And that is why I am doubly excited to be here.
So the pandemic hits in 2020. People are not working out in person as much. And we've kind of shifted to a hybrid workout environment. A lot of people working out at home. How has SoulCycle shifted their business model to accommodate that?
So the first thing that I would say is lots of people did continue to ride through the pandemic, but it was not in our indoor studios. We had to open 30 studios across the country outside. So totally redefined the riding experience, no longer indoors in a dark candlelit room, but instead outside on rooftops, in hotels, in basements of car parks, in the most unique and unusual spaces. So people really wanted human connection. Probably, arguably, more so during the pandemic than before it. That said, as we have returned to business outside of the pandemic, consumers are definitely wanting to mix up their workout routines. They think about wellness in a much broader sense now. So they're thinking about mental health, emotional health, as well as physical health. The great news is SoulCycle has always been a mind, body, and soul workout. So we offer all three things.
I've heard people describe SoulCycle as a spiritual experience, a live event. Can you talk about if you're leaning into that and how you foster that environment?
Community is our superpower. It's always been the secret sauce of SoulCycle. People come for human connection, to be held accountability by their riding buddy. It's an experience whether you're coming to have a party on a bike or whether you are coming to cry it all out and sweat it all out on a bike. That's what the experience has always been. And I feel as we're seeing this shift to more experiential, that is SoulCycle's sweet spot, because we're all about community. We're all about the sanctuary of SoulCycle.
That leads me to my next question. Can you talk about the experience economy? We've been hearing about that, this craving to return to in-person.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how SoulCycle is, serving that up?
I mean, for sure, I'd say we're just dialing up what we do naturally. We've always been a mind, body and soul experience. Certainly what we've done in more recent years is really leaned very heavily into music. So last year and the year before, Taylor Swift takeover at SoulCycle was a real thing. And that's how we're engaging with an entirely new generation of riders. So really bringing that experience to life for our riders from the minute they walk into our studio to the minute they're clipped in.
So you have 30 years of experience as a media executive, including Time magazine. You were also a dedicated SoulCycle writer. How did this happen that you're the CEO now?
So I was a huge marathon runner and triathlete for many years. I tore my ACL and I was looking for my alternative cardio workout, and that was SoulCycle. It happened to be on my block. So I went, like many of our riders did, for the workout, and I stayed for how it makes me feel, for that community, for that feeling, for the experience that we just talked about. So that's how I came into Soul. It is really strange when you are a consumer and admirer of a brand, but also a CEO, and think your brain starts going, oh my God, I'd do all these things if I were the CEO at SoulCycle. And so then I heard there was an opening and I persuaded the powers that be that I was the right person to run SoulCycle.
And how do you think that personal experience of actually knowing the brand so well, being a customer, has given you an edge as CEO, if any?
I've built my career building really amazing brands. SoulCycle is one of the strongest brands in the world because we fulfill a very functional need. We're on a bike, working out, our heart is pumping. I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of breath. But it's also a brand that makes people feel part of something bigger than themselves. That's why we often describe SoulCycle as a sanctuary. And so for me, coming into SoulCycle, it was leveraging this extraordinarily powerful community and brand that not only serves a very physical and specific function, but also connects with people. Seeking ways to leverage that, expand that, and extend the impact that we're able to have on our riders and our community.
SoulCycle launched in 2006, so you have a huge millennial consumer base. Are you going after Gen Z consumers?
We are. More by default, I would say, than design. Our single biggest rider cohort growth is coming from Gen Zs. Why is that? Because, to the point that you just made, they're seeking to buy into experiences. They want a holistic wellness routine that helps them get physically stronger, but also mentally and emotionally stronger. And so, yes, absolutely, we're tapping into that growth audience. And they are the biggest cohort of riders that we have at SoulCycle, with just less than 60% of our riders are under the age of 29.
I know there's been a big shift towards strength-based workouts. Is SoulCycle doing anything to educate about the benefits of cardio?
There's definitely been this shift towards strength. Here's what the professionals, the medics, the data tells you, that half of your workout should be cardio and half should be strength and other exercise modalities. Balance is so critically important. And so whether it's SoulCycle talking about the benefits of cardio at SoulCycle low impact, or SoulCycle talking about the benefits of cardio and the need for us all to do 150 minutes a week of cardio exercise, we have really got behind the science of SoulCycle and the science of cardio. In fact, earlier on this year, we worked with NYU Langone to help us amplify that education amongst our consumers.
In all your years that you've been involved with SoulCycle, both as a customer and the CEO, what is your favorite SoulCycle story?
My favourite stories are always the ones of our riders when they talk about the impact that SoulCycle has had on their lives. I talk to CEOs who say, I come and sweat it out on the bike before I go into the office. I meet young people who said I was going through a breakup, a separation, a bereavement, and SoulCycle got me through the hardest times of my life. So those are the stories that really motivate me, because it really just underscores the impact that SoulCycle has, not only on your physical well-being, but your mental and emotional well-being as well.
And the people that I know who like SoulCycle really like SoulCycle. It has a cult-like following. Why do you think that is?
Because we love the music. We lose ourselves in the beat of the music. We are not riding to metrics today. We are just listening to the music in our own head or whatever's playing. And so the experience of Soul is way more than the workout. And people crave human connection. And that's what SoulCycle gives you. We have an at-home bike. We have many members of our community who ride with us at home, but they feel connected to something bigger. And I think that's what made me a super fan of the brand. And that's what makes so many of our community members super fans of the brand.
Evelyn Webster, thank you so much for riding with us at the New York Stock Exchange.
Thank you so much.